Hi, I'm Scott Wrighton. I serve as Decatur City Manager, and it's always my pleasure to bring these weekly updates about what's going on in city government. We are always anxious for more opportunities to tell folks what's going on. Oftentimes the work of city government just goes on and people don't realize how complex it is or what's involved in it as long as those services get taken care of. The first thing I want to mention is that although this may not be reported as widely in the local media as well, the number of COVID cases is pretty regularly over 50 every day. Now there have been times when it peaks and lets off, but still pretty consistently over 50 new cases that are reported every day, which emphasizes, I believe, the need to continue to be vigilant about wearing masks indoors, about practicing social distancing, and if you possibly can do so, to get the vaccine. The vaccine really is the best defense against getting the virus, and that in those rare cases when there's a crossover and somebody gets it anyway, despite the fact that they've been fully vaccinated, they experience much less severe symptoms of the virus and usually recover much more rapidly. The City of Decatur has no plans, especially in light of a decision at the federal level at the Fifth Circuit, to be implementing any kind of vaccination mandate. We never did. We don't believe that a person's employment should be contingent on their getting the vaccine. Nevertheless, I cannot say enough how much we believe that you should get the vaccination, even though it's not going to be mandated, and that the information available through many different public health sources support the public health value of that. In fact, we are considering some additional policies to institutionalize some of the incentives of our own employees to get the vaccination, which we will evaluate when and if Governor Pritzker relaxes the mask mandate, which apparently he plans on keeping in place through the holidays. The main focus of the mayor and council recently has been the adoption of the city's annual budget. The City of Decatur operates on a calendar year fiscal year, meaning that our spending year is the same as the calendar year. It begins January 1st and ends on December 31st. So we are required by law to have a balanced budget in place before the end of December, to have our tax levy approved, to have all the other year-end financial actions that the mayor and city council have to take in place before the end of December. I want to tell you that the budget for the first time is over $200 million a year because of a significant amount of state and federal relief money that is running through the City of Decatur's annual budget on a one-time basis only. For that and many other reasons, actually, the recommended Decatur budget keeps service levels in place and maintains all existing staffing. The Mayor and Council have authorized some small increases in additional staffing in two key areas. The first is our neighborhood revitalization program. Because of the amount of money that we're receiving from the state and federal governments for that, because of the need to do more code enforcement, more follow-up with the rehabilitation of selected properties, we need a few extra staff to do that. The other major priority that also reflects a small increase in staffing has to do with the Mayor and Council's publicly stated commitment to making sure that our stewardship of Lake Decatur moving forward is going to be at a higher level than it's been for the last 100 years. The amount of siltation and runoff of chemicals from agricultural chemicals going into the lake has gotten higher, which is why the city had to undergo a $95 million dredging project in the last decade, which we don't want to see happen again. And the way that we will avoid that happening is being much more aggressive and much more proactive with farmers up in the watershed, with land uses right around the Decatur area, right down to how the lake edge itself is managed, so that we can make a significant reduction in the amount of siltation that goes into the lake. And by doing that, not only keep water quality high, but also keep our water capacity higher. When the City of Decatur dredged the lake several years ago, that action, though expensive, bought the city almost a 30% increase in water capacity, because the siltation had simply eroded the amount of water that we have available to pump and treat to all of our customers. So because of those two major focus areas, we're giving more attention to staffing and major capital expenditures in those two areas. There is no defunding of any department, police or any other department being defunded in the new budget. I want to mention that being a police officer is a good and honorable profession. Despite some of the national level, frankly, character assassination of law enforcement that we've seen over the last year on a national basis, that has not been the case here in Decatur. And the mayor and city council here in Decatur remain steadfastly supportive of law enforcement, and for good reason, because they believe in law and order, and they believe that strong security helps make the city more secure, makes it feel safer. It's certainly true, and I admit that there have been an increase in gun violence here in Decatur. Our numbers remain below Champaign, remain below Peoria, we're significantly below Springfield. Nevertheless, we can't be sitting on our laurels for that at all. There's more that we can do, and we believe that a strong law enforcement presence helps do that, which is why there's no reduction planned in the staffing levels of the police department. And in fact, the mayor and city council in the new budget have made significant commitment to fund additional equipment that will help them do their work more effectively and apprehend people and make good arrests. And do the other things necessary to have a better law enforcement presence. We're also evaluating how we can change some of the shifts in the police department so that we can have, just by using our existing manpower, distribute it differently so that we can have more presence on the street. In this way, the city council is, I think, tending to the most important needs of the city. And I look forward to talking to you some more about that as individual projects that are authorized in this budget actually come to the city council for approval or have public discussion and study sessions and the like. The city council meets on the first and third Mondays of every month, and usually they have a study session on the second Monday of the month. In December, because of all the study sessions they had for the budget in November, they're not going to have a study session in December. That's normally how the public decision-making process works. And I encourage you to stay tuned to our website for more information about what's on those meetings and participate as you like. Thank you again for the opportunity to bring this information to you, and we hope that on behalf of the mayor and city council, hope that all of you have a very happy Thanksgiving.